Hi, my name is Muriel, and I'm a public librarian in Washington State. When I was 18, I was a library page in my hometown library, um, but it took me a good long while to figure out that that was actually what I wanted to do with my life. I got my master's in library and information science at the University of Washington, and I went with that career path because I wanted to do something that mattered. I wanted to help out my community and provide information and services and just make people's daily lives fun and interesting and engaging and educational. And it's one of those few careers that combines so much. It changes every day, and I love that. The services that the library provides is really reflective of what the community wants and needs. So there's always going to be adult services and youth services. And youth services is really focused on early literacy, providing story times, providing STEM programs, teen after hours events, kind of normalizing the library as part of kids' daily lives. And then for adult services, it is really varied too. It can be things like crafternoons and having speakers come, book talks, book clubs. And then beyond that, we're just a resource for people to come in, use the computers, need hunting for jobs, resume help, light text services. It really spans the gamut. And then, there's the obvious. You can come and check out books and CDs, DVDs, ebooks, all that stuff. Public libraries have had to kind of step up their game and start to take on a social service role because there's always a lack of social services available. No matter how well a community is doing with it, there's always a need for more. So because we're an institution that's based on the concept of open access and being available for everyone, we do see an increase in patrons that are experiencing homelessness, substance abuse issues, mental health crises. We've really had to do some hard work to educate ourselves into how to best provide services to those populations. And there's been some really great steps in that in public librarianship. There's been a number of branches throughout the country that have added social service workers to better serve people in need. There's been many reported cases of libraries carrying Narcan for people that might be having an opioid overdose. So it's put us into a new approach to public libraries that we're kind of reaching out and overextending ourselves because we want to help our communities. The particular library system that I work for is funded from property taxes. The federal level, for the last 3 years, every year, Trump has proposed to eliminate the IMLS, which is the Institute of Museum and Library Services. And that's the federal agency that provides a huge amount of funding to state libraries. It's basically exclusively their funding comes from that. And so while a public library like mine isn't directly funded by federal institution, we receive a huge amount of services from the Washington State Library. They're the ones that give us training opportunities so our staff can get stronger and evolve with our community's needs. They do the Washington Talking Book and Braille Library, which is a great program that allows for talking books and Braille books to be mailed to library patrons that need it. They help support our public libraries in our state with doing summer library program, which is a huge boost for early literacy and youth involvement in the libraries. So it's a direct threat to something that supports public libraries nationwide. The Trump administration has brought up IMLS for 3 years to be completely defunded, and it has not been successful. And that's because bipartisan support in Congress has voted to keep IMLS funded, and because citizens all over the country are writing into their Congress people to say this is really important. These are services that we need to be providing to our communities. So that makes me hopeful. And another thing that makes me hopeful is that public libraries are supported by the ALA, the American Library Association, and they've consistently and vocally taken a stand that we are here to protect our patrons' privacy. You know, we're not handing out information to the federal government. We're not handing over information to ICE. We believe very strongly in a patron's right to read, a patron's right to privacy, to confidentiality, to access. And that's something that public libraries have been consistently supportive of. So there's been a number of children's picture books that have directly or implicitly responded to the administration. One of those would be A Day in the Life of Marlon Bundo. There's another book, The Wall in the Middle of the Book by John Agee. And then I've also noticed that there's been increasingly more and more books that have addressed the fallout of our current administration, that have talked about, child refugees and even just the importance of general kindness in the world and diversity, and be more supportive of those positive, good traits that we have seen lacking in the last couple of years. Yes, heck yes. I would, I am fully in favor of seeing more books that highlight strong, diverse young women and encourage young people of all genders and backgrounds to fight for things that are good in the world.